Happy New Year's, everyone. 2024. I'm sure all of you guys are all dopamine filled with your New Year's resolutions, ready to go, change your life, which is awesome. But you know what's not awesome is that a lot of you guys probably aren't going to do that. You're probably do it for a little bit and then stop, which is unfortunate. So, what are some ways? It's just going to be a quick video, straight to the point, as straight to the point as I can make it. What are some ways you can ensure that you stick with what you're trying to accomplish? So first, I think it's important to be very detailed on like what you're actually trying to get out of what you're doing, so that way you kind of know like why you're working towards something, like why it's worth doing it on the days where you don't feel like it, why it's worth just doing it in general. Personally, I didn't really get specific on what I was trying to achieve for a little while, but I always knew that, like, just in general, like, I wanted to make money. Like, I knew that's what the original goal was. I mean, it's gotten, like, significantly more detailed since then. I have more specific goals, but that was the starter. I was just trying to make money, which I think a lot of people probably are, because, you know, entrepreneurship's kind of trendy nowadays. The unfortunate thing, though, is that you won't make money at the start. Like, you're not gonna make a lot of money at the start, at least. So I think that probably the most important thing going into New Year's is your mindset. The whole thing that allowed me to stay disciplined and just become the person that I wanted to become, or get on the track of where I wanted to go, it was kind of a little bit of like pain. It was like pain, like that's what got me into entrepreneurship. That's also what got me into lifting weights. You know, it sounds cliche, it sounds corny, but when you have that kind of like motivation where you're like, I can't be that way anymore, it's hard to go back. So, but then you just start to develop like a winning mindset. Like the people you look up to perceive risk differently than you. They perceive time differently than you. They learn faster than you. They just make decisions faster than you. They don't doubt themselves. You just have to completely switch your mindset if you want to become different, if you want to change. Because fundamentally, I think that it's kind of hard. No shit is hard, but it's simple, but it's simple if you have that kind of mindset where it's like, a lot of people just see reality the wrong way, where it's like, I'm only going to work when I'm motivated and I'm still going to get what I want. That's not how it works. Like, you can't just, or I'm going to work for 3 days out of the week and then reward myself because I worked 3 days in a row. Like, congratulations. Like, you have to be able to delay gratification at a different level than you used to. You have to be able to separate your actions from your emotions at a different level. And these are just like small pieces of what I've learned throughout this whole year. But I didn't have a problem getting into it in the first place. It's like, once I got in, I was in. And I think that a lot of people they're just not in. So once you get in the right mindset and stick with it for a little bit, that mindset just evolves. And your old standards will become like 10 times more, like, your standards will just increase over time of like what you think is okay for you to be doing. So you kind of have to just get in the flow of doing it. Like, the start's the hardest part. It depends on the person. That's a generalized statement. For me, it wasn't hard to start at all, but it also wasn't hard for me to stick with it because I had a clear goal and I just knew that I wasn't going to stop. Like, the only thing that's really like kept me through it this whole time is like I give myself a zero options mentality. Like, I don't have, like, there's nothing that I have as an option to fall back on in my mind. Like, sure, there's always options if things go super wrong that you can do. I just eliminate those options from my mind, which allows me to keep going. If you're the type of person that gives yourself alternatives, that's not going to work. Like, let's say if you want to start a business, for example, you have to work a lot, obviously. But if you're like thinking that the business is just going to become like a side thing while you continue to work another job, like, it's going to be like, you're going to be less forced to continue on the path of that business. So it's like, you kind of just have to eliminate other options for yourself besides what you want to actually achieve. a lot of people want to become business owners, and they just like they don't understand what it actually is comprised of, and a lot of people don't want to make those sacrifices, and that's okay. But you have to be honest with yourself. You have to understand what it actually takes, and be honest with yourself, and be like I'm actually not gonna do this, and that's like fine. But I don't know. You guys can probably tell I'm so tired right now. I'm sorry. This is not the best video. This was kind of just spur of the moment. I didn't have a plan for this at all. But I'm trying to like communicate to you guys like how you're gonna achieve your goals. Like, I think you do need some kind of either huge goal or some kind of pain point that you're like trying to get away from. Like, if you don't want to be the same at all, then that should hypothetically be enough to just keep you moving the needle forward a little bit every day. And like I said, like, you don't have to be perfect at first. Like, I was far from perfect at first. The only thing I did that was perfect is I just kept going. And then as I kept going, I raised the standards for myself, and I knew, okay, I can do more than that. I can do more than that. And I just kept evolving. And I'm still, obviously, like, I'm 1 year into business. Like, it's nothing. So it's like, but as someone who's 1 year in, like, I've changed my whole viewpoint of the world. My whole viewpoint of the world is completely different. Like, I just don't see reality like the average person sees reality anymore, because you can't if you want to be different. Like, if you want to be like a top 1% earning potential, you have to see the world differently than the rest of it. And that sounds like corny and cliche, whatever, but it's the fundamental truth. Like I was saying earlier, like, successful entrepreneurs, and like, I'm not a successful entrepreneur yet, far from it, but I consume a lot of successful entrepreneurs content, and I understand how they think because I have a frame to apply it to in my actual life. So it's just like it's honestly mainly mindset, which is like, I would say it's the biggest part of it, because when you have the right mindset, you can do the other things easier. Like, you can send your 100 messages a day because you're like, okay, like, this is just the work it takes to get to where I want to go. And once you can internalize and accept that, like, it's going to take a certain amount of things that you have to do on a consistent basis, and you just keep doing themselves. Like, go back and look at my video called "Give Yourself the Evidence." That is probably my favorite video one of my favorite videos that I've made, because that has changed my life a lot. Start a to-do list, and then prove to yourself that you can do the things, and that's going to give you motivation. Like, it's going to be like, okay, like, I've done this before, why can't I do it again? I can just keep doing it. So, I don't know. This was a very unstructured, not the greatest video, but if you want to achieve your goals in 2024, you can't go into it the same way you've gone into gone into it in the past when nothing has changed. You have to go into it with a different mindset. You have to go in it with a different frame that, like, this is what I'm doing. I don't have any other options to do. Like, if I don't do this, like, I fail. And some people can't do that. Like, some people can't do it. Some people just they'll never choose to do it. They'll never choose to do it. And it's unfortunate, but that's the reality. So if you want to be the type of person, if you want to turn into the type of person that, like, you want to be, or, like, getting on the right path of where you want to go, you have to see the world differently. You have to just be consistent, be disciplined, work where you don't want to work. It's not rocket science. It's really not rocket science, but, learn from your mistakes and just move forward a little bit every day. Like, it's really not that hard. Like, I wish I could give you some crazy motivational speech, but, I started because I wasn't the person that I wanted to be. I knew what I wanted to be, so I started doing the things that the person I wanted to be does. It's nothing crazy. So go into this new year and actually stick with it. Like, give yourself some stakes. Like, be like, if I don't do this, then I'm going to do this to myself. Like, find some kind of, like, punishment. Like, if I don't do this, I'm not going to spend money on whatever I spend money on, or I'm not going to go out and do this thing, or, like, whatever. Like, give yourself, like, a way to hold yourself accountable. I don't know. I mean, for me, it's like, I just get it now. Like, I kind of get it. Like, I get what it takes. I get what the people above me are doing, and I just continue to do it. I just do a little bit more every day. So, I mean, that's one thing you should focus on too, is just try to get a little bit better every single day. And just keep learning, constantly learn, and apply the stuff that you learn, because it's not even learning if you don't apply it. So, Yeah, that's pretty much. This is I apologize. This is a really unenthusiastic video, but it kind of frustrates me when people come to me and they're like, "Oh, what do you do?" And it's like, dude, just find something you want to get good at, figure out how to get good at it, and stick with it. I think the problem is like a lot of people know what to do, they just choose not to do it. So don't be that person. Change this new year. Like I want to see you guys change. Um, that's it. Happy 2024. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.